You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, I've got your weekly prediction edition. We're going to talk about Jason's threat, Lulu's bombshell, and Portia's dirty scheme. If you're not following us already, please click that subscribe button. As always, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt. We have got predictions for Portia and Drew, for Lulu and Tracy, for Christina and Ava, for Elizabeth and Drew, and for Jason and Carly. Let's get right into it. Our very first prediction: Portia sets up Drew for a scandal. So the spoilers for this week, because we always base our predictions on spoilers, say that on Monday, Portia and Nina connect. That same day, Ava warns Portia to not let her fear inspire her to do something dumb. And I do think that is what's going to happen. We'll see how dumb it is when it comes out. But based on what we saw on Friday, it looks like Portia may target Drew from a medical angle. She was intently poring through his General Hospital confidential medical file. And just by having it in her hand, Portia was already breaking her doctor's oath. Doctors aren't allowed to just randomly browse through people's files without a reason, and he's not her patient. She had no medical reason, and that alone is more trouble. And then judging by Monday's spoilers and Nina and Portia connecting, they may join forces against Drew. Both she and Nina have major reasons to try and take Drew down. It's all about protecting their daughters. That's why Portia tampered with Heather Weber's test results, was to protect Trina. And now Drew is blackmailing her. Nina is desperate to get Drew away from Willow to protect her. So Portia could set up Drew for some sort of scandal that could ruin his reputation, maybe get him kicked out of Congress so he'd have no power that he could abuse. From a medical standpoint, Portia could rig some tests to make it look like he's got a drug problem. And, Nina could actually work with her and slip Drew a little something so he goes off the rail. He's erratic. Even better if Nina and Portia can drive Drew to actually assault somebody, because that, along with the drug stuff, could get him kicked out of Congress, and maybe it would break his hold on Willow. I don't think anything will, and I don't think any plot they do will work out. But this may be what they start cooking up. We'll see. Our second prediction: Lulu drops that BLQ baby bombshell on Tracy. Spoilers for this week: on Tuesday, have Tracy grilling Brooklyn, and on Wednesday, Lulu makes an admission. So Tracy's giving Brooklyn the third degree early this week. She may want to know what's going on with BLQ, since her mom, Lois, abruptly packed up and said she's leaving to go back to Bensonhurst. And of course, Tracy will be thrilled because she's not a fan of Lois, but she's going to want to know what has broken up the Bensonhurst brigade. And I wonder if Tracy overhears something or is just grilling her and then is suspicious. And then on Wednesday, Lulu is admitting something to someone. I know that's vague, but Lulu is extremely close to Tracy, and she may feel comfortable enough talking to BLQ's granny and rationalizing in her head that Tracy has a right to know that there's this great-grandchild out there. I'm sure Lulu could convince herself that it's the right thing to do to tell Tracy, and from there, it's a short road to Dante and Gio. Our third prediction: Christina goes too far when she targets Ava. So this past week, of course, we saw a lot of Christina and Ava stuff. And then spoilers for Tuesday have Ava getting the upper hand. On Wednesday, Christina's on the warpath and Ava is filling in Rick. And then on Thursday, Alexis summons Rick to her office. And on Friday, Ava issues a threat and Christina regrets something she decided. And every time we see Christina, she's unhinged about Ava. Nobody can reason with her. Literally, I think the only people actually in Port Charles that think that Ava's the reason the baby died are Christina and Lucky, who's only going off what Christina has told him, not actual facts or information or being in town when it happened, And Christina may go completely off the rails and do something to Ava she can't take back. Already this week, Ava told Alexis Christina is delusional and Alexis is enabling her delusions when she should be setting her to rights. And Lucky is definitely enabling her. And when Ava gets the upper hand and Christina's on the warpath, that all sounds like everything is coming to a head and it's going to be awful. There's no telling what Christina could do. She might decide to try and bankrupt her by breaking into Ava's gallery, setting it on fire, or vandalizing the art to ruin her business, thinking if she wrecks her finances, that would get her out of Avery's life or just hurt her so she loses something. Christina could break into Ava's apartment and trash it. She could call in a fake CPS report on Ava. There's all kinds of stuff she could do. And if it all comes out and she's caught, of course, she would regret what she decided, especially if it lands her in jail or time out in a mental hospital. Our fourth prediction, Elizabeth joins the ever-growing anti-Drew crew. On Monday, spoilers have Lucas confiding more in Elizabeth, and on Tuesday, she's looking for info from Rick, and by Friday, Liz and Tracy are talking about Drew. So Elizabeth may join this growing list of people trying to stop Drew and take him down. And Lucas may tell Elizabeth about Brad blackmailing Portia. And then Elizabeth's trying to get information out of Rick next week. And of course, he knows all about this blackmail situation. So Elizabeth may try to pry that info out of him. And you never know, Rick's crazy about her. He may tell her more than he should as Portia's attorney, especially if he thinks Liz might be able to help. And once she finds out that Drew is blackmailing Portia, that's hard. You know, Liz once actually thought she was in love with the guy, but that was back when he was a decent guy. Brad gave his Aunt Selena Wu that info on Portia, and she gave it to Drew, and he turned around and blackmailed. And then Elizabeth is discussing Drew with Tracy. So I think Elizabeth would definitely want to help Portia because they're good friends. Liz may even want to help Tracy just because Drew Q is being terrible. So we'll see. Our fifth and final prediction, Jason puts Carly in a terrible position. On Monday, Jason's issuing an ultimatum, and on Tuesday, Carly and Brennan are discussing their future. Do they have one? So Jason throws out this ultimatum early in the week. I'm guessing it's probably to Carly because Jason already tossed one at Jack saying stay away from Carly, but he's not going to listen to Jason. After she nearly died, Jason, of course, is terrified something's going to happen to Carly again and that she might not be so lucky. Next time, he has tried to tell them both to stay away from each other. So Jason's ultimatum may be, look, Carly, it's Jack or me, you know? Or Jason may threaten to kill Brennan if anything else happens to Carly. And on Monday, GH spoilers have Carly begging Jason not to quit on her because he never has. Whatever this ultimatum is, if it is Carly he slings it at, I can't see him really following through. No matter what Carly does, no matter how bad, how dumb, how big of a mistake she makes, he always stays loyal. And with Carly and Brennan discussing their future, there's a chance they could agree with Jason, this is not a good idea, and call it quits, but nah, that's way too easy. When Carly wants something, she grabs on and hangs on with both hands. So my prediction is no matter what Jason says, no matter what tough position he puts her in, Carly is going to refuse to end things with Jack Brennan.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.